Welcome back to Z Coins. We are diving deep into the fascinating world of Washington quarters. These are some of the most iconic coins in American history, and believe it or not, some of them are worth thousands, even millions of dollars on the current market. So sit back, relax, and get ready as we count down the top 7 most valuable Washington quarter-dollar coins worth a lot of money, based on expert appraisals and real-world auction results from trusted sources like Heritage Auctions, PCGS, and Numismatic Guarantee Company. The 1970D Washington quarter might seem like just another coin in your pocket, but for collectors and enthusiasts, this small piece of American history has become an incredible treasure. In this video, we'll take a deep dive into the story of the 1970D Washington quarter dollar, its origins, historical significance, rare varieties, and why some of these coins are worth thousands of dollars today. Let's begin with the basics. The Washington quarter was first minted in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington. Designed by John Flanagan, the coin features a left-facing portrait of Washington on the obverse with the word Liberty at the top and the phrase "In God We Trust" to the left of his profile. The reverse originally depicted a heraldic eagle with outstretched wings, clutching arrows and olive branches, symbolizing readiness for war and a preference for peace. BY 1970. The United States Mint had been striking Washington quarters for nearly 4 decades. However, the 1970D quarter stands out in coin collecting history not just for its age but because of a few fascinating and lucrative errors that occurred during its production at the Denver Mint. One of the most talked about and valuable varieties is the 1970D Washington quarter struck on a 1941 Canadian quarter. This type of mint error is extraordinarily rare and is believed to be the result of an accidental use of a foreign coin planchet. Only a few of these error coins have been confirmed, but when they appear on the market, they fetch enormous prices. One such coin was authenticated and sold for over $35,000. Imagine that, a quarter with a face value of 25 cents selling for the price of a brand new car. What makes it so valuable is not just the minting mistake, but the clarity with which both the 1970D Washington quarter design and remnants of the original Canadian quarter underneath can be seen. It's a true anomaly and a collector's dream. But even regular 1970D quarters can be worth more than face value. While hundreds of millions were minted, coins in exceptional condition, particularly those graded mint state 65 or higher, can sell for significantly more than their face value. High-grade specimens are often sought after by collectors aiming to complete high-quality date and mint mark sets. The key to value here is condition. Coins that have been preserved in pristine condition, showing no signs of wear, sharp details, and strong luster, are much more desirable. A 1970D quarter in MS67 condition has sold for over $600 in past auctions. While not as rare as the mint error we mentioned earlier, this still represents a massive increase in value over 25 cents. To understand why such a recent coin can be valuable, it's important to think like a collector. Rarity, demand, historical significance, and condition all play vital roles in determining a coin's worth. When it comes to the 1970D Washington quarter, most people have no idea that something so ordinary could be so extraordinary under the right circumstances. This is what makes coin collecting so exciting. You never know what might be hiding in plain sight. Another aspect to consider is proof-like coins or coins with full strike details. Sometimes, coins are struck with such clarity and brilliance that they almost resemble proofs. These high-end coins can add even more value, especially when certified by trusted third-party grading services such as PCGS or NGC. Certification not only confirms authenticity, but also gives buyers confidence in the grade and condition of the coin. Let's talk about the current market. As of today, a standard circulated 1970D quarter is still only worth its face value. However, uncirculated versions can range in value from $10 to $50 depending on their grade and appeal. Coins with full details and strong mint luster start commanding higher prices. And of course, the error coins, especially the one struck on a 1941 Canadian quarter, remain incredibly valuable and rare. These seldom come up for sale, but when they do, the bidding can be fierce. Collectors and investors alike are willing to pay a premium for these unique pieces of minting history. If you happen to have a stash of old quarters, now's the time to check. Look closely at your 1970D quarters. Inspect them for errors, off-metal strikes, doubling, or any other unusual features. You never know, you might just be holding a small fortune in your hand. Always consider having your coin examined by a professional grading company if you suspect it may be rare or in excellent condition. A simple verification could be the difference between 25 cents and several $1,000s. In conclusion, the 1970 Washington quarter is more than just a coin. It's a reminder that history, rarity, and a bit of luck can turn loose change into a collector's jackpot. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just someone who enjoys a good treasure hunt, the story of the 1970 quarter is one of mystery, value, and discovery. So go ahead, dig through your change jar, and who knows, your next big find might be just a quarter away. We're diving into one of the most surprising coins in American numismatic history, the 1965 Washington quarter dollar. At first glance, this coin might seem ordinary, but dig a little deeper and you'll discover that certain 1965 quarters are worth big money, sometimes thousands of dollars, depending on their type, condition, and even a few secret errors most people miss. So stick around to the end, because you might just find one of these rare gems hiding in your pocket change or old coin jar. Let's start with a bit of history. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. From 1932 through 1964, these quarters were made of 90% silver and 10% copper. But in 1965, everything changed. The United States Mint stopped using silver in quarters and switched to a copper-nickel-clad composition due to a nationwide coin shortage and rising silver prices. This change makes the 1965 quarter historically significant. It was the very first clad quarter ever produced. But this transition year also created some opportunities for rare and valuable errors that collectors today are willing to pay top dollar for. So how can a 1965 quarter be worth more than 25 cents? Let's break it down. First, let's talk about the rare 1965 silver quarter. Yes, you heard that right. Even though the Mint officially stopped making silver quarters in 1964, a small number of silver planchets accidentally got mixed in with the 1965 production. These silver 1965 quarters are exceptionally rare. They look very similar to regular 1965 quarters, but there's one big difference. Their composition. A regular 1965 quarter is made of copper-nickel clad, and it weighs about 5.67 grams. But the rare silver 1965 quarters weigh about 6.25 grams. That's your first clue. If you find a 1965 quarter, try weighing it. If it comes in heavier than normal, you might have struck silver, literally. In fact, one of these rare silver 1965 quarters sold for over $7,000 at auction. Another example fetched more than $9,000 because it was in pristine, uncirculated condition. So yes, it's absolutely worth checking your quarters, especially from the 1965 to 1967 range, since none of these coins had mint marks and it's easier for rare errors to hide in plain sight. Now let's talk about error coins, another major reason why some 1965 quarters are worth serious money. One of the most valuable types is the double die error. This happens when the coin is struck twice slightly out of alignment, creating a shadow or doubling effect, often seen in the letters or date. Although rare, if you find a 1965 double die quarter, its value can shoot up into the hundreds or even thousands depending on the severity and condition. There are also off-center strikes, where the coin design is shifted to one side, leaving a blank crescent on the surface. The more extreme the misalignment, the more valuable the coin can be. One off-center 1965 quarter sold for over $300. Another hot item among collectors is the struck on a wrong planchet error. These are coins that were accidentally struck on planchets intended for other coins. For example, a 1965 quarter struck on a dime planchet much smaller and thinner has sold for over $2,000. Mistakes like these are rare, but they do happen, especially during a transitional year like 1965. You might be wondering about condition. How much does condition matter when it comes to quarter value? The short answer, a lot. A regular 1965 quarter in circulated condition is still worth face value, just 25 cents. But if the coin is in mint state, especially graded MS65 or higher by services like PCGS or NGC, it could be worth $10 to $50 or more, even without a rare error. A pristine, high-grade example has collector value simply due to its eye appeal and scarcity in such good shape. Here's where things get interesting in the current market. With precious metal prices fluctuating and coin collecting seeing a revival among younger generations, demand for rare and historical coins is going up. A certified silver 1965 quarter in near-perfect condition can now fetch over $10,000 at top auction houses. Even regular high-grade clad quarters are gaining value as collectors look to complete sets in premium condition. So how do you check your coins? First, grab a digital scale that reads to 2 decimal places. Weigh any 1965 quarters you have. If the weight is over 6 grams, set it aside for further testing. You can also use a magnet. Clad quarters are not magnetic, but it's just another check to rule out fakes. Next, use a magnifying glass or coin loupe to look closely at the lettering, date, and edges. Check for doubling, off-center strikes, or unusual textures. And if you really think you've found something special, get the coin professionally graded and authenticated. It's the only way to truly unlock its full market value. To wrap up, not all 1965 quarters are rare, but a few of them, silver planchet errors, double dies, and off-metal strikes, are worth big money. Thousands of dollars, in fact. And high-grade examples with no errors can still bring in respectable value among collectors. So don't ignore your pocket change. That humble quarter could be a hidden treasure. Take a closer look, you never know what you might find. If you're new here, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe because today we're diving into a topic that could literally pay off big time. We're talking about the 2000p and the 1788 mint mark $quarter coins. These coins may look ordinary at first glance, but some of them are worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars depending on key features, rare errors, and their condition. So stick around to find out if you've been holding on to a small fortune without even knowing it. Let's start with some context. Back in 1999, the U.S. Mint kicked off the 50-state quarters program. It was a massive success and quickly became one of the most collected series of modern U.S. coinage. Each quarter highlighted a different state, and collectors eagerly awaited new releases every year. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The coin you want to pay attention to is the 2000p South Carolina state quarter. If you've ever seen one with a 1788 on it, you're looking at the year South Carolina was admitted to the Union, not the coin's minting date. That causes confusion, but we're here to clear it up. Let's talk about the 2000p South Carolina quarter. This coin was minted in Philadelphia, hence the P mint mark. Now, millions of these were struck, over 742 million to be exact. So what makes any of them rare or valuable? Simple. Comes down to error coins, condition, and die varieties. Collectors look for coins in high mint state grades. We're talking MS65 and above. But there's more. Some of these quarters have minting errors that can drive their value up significantly. Double dies, off-center strikes, die breaks, and clipped planchets can turn an ordinary quarter into a collector's dream. Now this is the part you don't want to miss. There are a few known and highly valuable error versions of the 2000p quarter. First, there's the off-center strike. This happens when the coin isn't properly aligned during the minting process, leaving part of the design missing. These can sell for $100 to $500 depending on how dramatic the error is and the condition of the coin. Next up, double die errors. These are coins where the design appears doubled, usually on the date, lettering, or design features. While not as common as with older coins like the 1955 Lincoln cent, these errors on a 2000p quarter can still fetch between $75 and $300 or more. Another sought-after variation is the die break, also known as a cut error. This is where part of the die breaks off, leaving a raised blob of metal on the coin. Depending on the location and size, this can make your quarter worth $50 or more. Lastly, pay attention to coins with rotated dies. If you flip the coin and the reverse isn't correctly aligned, that's another rare error that collectors will pay a premium for. So why does the quarter say 1788? That's the year South Carolina became a state. It's part of the design used in the state quarters program. Every quarter in this series includes the year the state was admitted to the Union. So while the quarter was minted in 2000, the 1788 date reflects historical significance, not the coin's production year. That said, many people mistakenly believe they have a colonial-era coin. Unfortunately, that's not the case. But if your 2000p South Carolina quarter is in mint state condition or has a known error, you still might have a small treasure in your pocket. Let's talk money. How much are these coins actually selling for? A regular 2000p South Carolina quarter in average circulated condition is worth 25 cents. That's face value. But one in mint state condition, say MS65 or higher, can sell for $10 to $25 depending on demand and luster. Now let's talk about certified examples. A 2000p South Carolina quarter graded MS67 by PCGS or NGC can fetch $100 to $250 or more, depending on the market. But the real goldmine is in error coins. Double die errors and off-center strikes can easily sell between $75 and $500 depending on the clarity and severity of the error. If your quarter has a dramatic cud or other minting anomaly, it could even hit $1,000 at auction. So what should you do if you think you've got one of these valuable coins? Step 1. Don't clean it. Cleaning a coin can damage it and reduce its value significantly. Step 2. Check for errors under good lighting or with a magnifying glass. Look for doubling, off-center strikes, or anything that looks out of the ordinary. Step 3. Consider getting it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. This can help authenticate the coin and increase its resale value. Step 4. Sell smart. You can list it on auction sites like eBay, or try specialized coin auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Great Collections. To wrap up, the 2000p South Carolina quarter and other state quarters with the 1788 date may not be as old as they appear, but they can definitely be worth a lot more than face value. Whether it's an ultra-rare error or a high-grade mint state coin, the value can be surprisingly high. So check your pocket change, go through those old coin jars, and look at your state quarters closely. You never know, your next grocery store quarter might just be worth a small fortune. We're diving into a fascinating corner of American coinage, the 2010p mint mark $quarter coins. These coins may seem ordinary at first glance, but some of them are worth far more than their face value. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone who just found a shiny quarter in your change, this video might just open your eyes to the hidden treasures sitting in your pocket. In this episode, we're breaking down the different the beautiful quarter designs released in 2010 with the P mint mark, what makes some of them so valuable, which rare errors and varieties to look for, and how much these coins are selling for on today's market. Let's get started. Part 1. Background of the 2010p mint mark quarters. The year 2010 marked the beginning of the the Beautiful Quarters program. This series ran from 2010 through 2021, with 5 new reverse designs released each year celebrating national parks and historic sites from each state and territory. All 2010 quarters with the P mint mark were struck at the Philadelphia Mint. They feature the familiar obverse portrait of George Washington, but what makes them exciting is the variety of reverse designs issued that year. Hot Springs National Park in Arkansas, Yellowstone National Park in Wyoming, Yosemite National Park in California, Grand Canyon National Park in Arizona, Mount Hood National Forest in Oregon. Each design had its own unique minting quirks, and some of them now command impressive prices due to errors, condition, and rarity. Part 2. Notable varieties and errors to look for. Let's talk about the exciting part, valuable varieties and mint errors. These are the coins collectors are paying serious money for. First up is the 2010 Hot Springs quarter. Some examples have been found with double dies on the reverse, especially around the water fountain and text. These doubling errors can bring in anywhere from $50 to several $100 depending on the condition. Next, the Yellowstone quarter. Look closely at the geyser and the lettering on the reverse. Known errors include die chips and cuds near the bison's horn or the steam. These are minor minting defects but can still add $10 to $30 to the coin's value. Then there's the Yosemite quarter. One of the most sought-after errors here is the off-center strike. If the strike is off enough to cut part of the design but still show the date, collectors love it. Values for those start around $75 and can go up to $200 or more. With the Grand Canyon quarter, you want to check for what's called a struck-through grease error. This happens when minting debris obscures part of the design, often causing loss of detail. These can sell for $20 to $50, sometimes more if the error is dramatic. Finally, Mount Hood. This quarter has fewer reported errors, but high-grade examples, particularly in MS67 or better, can fetch big money from registry collectors looking for the best of the best. Part 3. Grading and condition. Coin grading plays a huge role in determining value. The higher the grade, the more the coin is worth. For modern quarters, the sweet spot starts at MS66, but MS67 and higher is where the big premiums start to kick in. According to PCGS population reports, some of these 2010 quarters in MS67 condition have sold for over $200 apiece. In MS68, which is extremely rare, sales have surpassed $1,000. Keep in mind that condition is everything. Even a rare error will fetch far less if it's scratched, worn, or discolored. Part 4. Current market value in 2024 and 2025. So what are these coins actually worth today? Here's a quick look at current values as of mid-2025 for the 2010 P quarters. Circulated common coins are worth face value just 25 cents. Coins in uncirculated condition can range from $1 to $10 depending on design and demand. Errors like die cracks, cuds, and doubling range between $25 and $300. Rare high-grade specimens, graded MS67 or MS68 by NGC or PCGS, are selling at auction for anywhere from $200 up to $200. Be sure to check online marketplaces like eBay, Great Collections, or Heritage Auctions to see real-time values. Prices can fluctuate based on collector demand and how often these rare pieces come to market. Part 5. Tips for identifying and storing your coins if you want to find one of these valuable quarters. Here's what to do. Check your pocket change and coin rolls from the bank. Yes, treasure hunting is still possible. Use a 10x magnifying loupe to spot doubling, die cracks, and fine details. Learn to identify mint luster, coins with strong shine, and know where have the best chance of getting high grades. Store valuable coins in 2x2 flips or protective slabs to preserve condition. If you think you found a high-grade coin or error, consider sending it to a third-party grading service like PCGS or NGC. Conclusion, there you have it. Everything you need to know about the 2010 P Mint Mark $quarter coins. From historical context to error spotting and real market prices, these quarters are much more than loose change. They're miniature time capsules, and in some cases, hidden jackpots. Have you ever found a rare 2010 quarter in your change? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update from the world of coin collecting. We're diving into a coin that might just be hiding in your pocket change, the 2016 D Mint Mark $quarter. While it might seem like just another modern coin, some versions of this quarter are actually worth big money. In this video, we'll take a deep dive into the history, design, varieties, mint errors, and current market values of the 2016 Denver minted quarters. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a casual collector, you don't want to miss this breakdown. The 2016 quarters were issued as part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, a series that began in 2010 and ran through 2021. This program honored national parks and historic sites across the United States. Each year, 5 different designs were released, and in 2016 we saw Shawnee National Forest in Illinois, Cumberland Gap National Historical Park in Kentucky, Harpers Ferry National Historical Park in West Virginia, Theodore Roosevelt National Park in North Dakota, Fort Moultrie at Fort Sumter National Monument in South Carolina. Each of these quarters featured a unique reverse design celebrating the designated location, while the obverse retained the familiar portrait of George Washington. The D Mint mark on these coins indicates that they were struck at the Denver Mint in Colorado, one of 2 primary U.S. facilities responsible for mass circulation coinage. The Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of these quarters in 2016, making them fairly common in circulated condition. Here's a quick breakdown of the mintage numbers for each design from the Denver Mint. Shawnee, about 151 million. Cumberland Gap, about 223 million. Harpers Ferry, about 434 million. Theodore Roosevelt, about 231 million. Fort Moultrie, about 220 million in circulated condition. Most 2016 D quarters are only worth their face value of 25 cents. However, if you have a pristine example, especially a coin graded MS67 or higher by a third-party grading service like PCGS or NGC, it can be worth significantly more. So what makes a 2016 D quarter worth big money? It all comes down to condition and rarity. Coins in mint state, especially those with no contact marks, full luster, and great eye appeal, can be quite rare. The 2016 D Harpers Ferry quarter graded MS68 sold for over $400 at auction. A Cumberland Gap quarter in MS68 condition has brought in close to $250. Fort Moultrie quarters graded MS67 Plus have fetched between $100 to $300 depending on the market and auction house. Prices like these are not everyday sales, but they show just how important condition and grading can be. If you think you have a high-quality quarter, it's worth considering a professional grading submission. Now here's where things get exciting. Error coins and die varieties can skyrocket the value of modern quarters. Some of the most sought-after errors on the 2016 D quarters include die cracks and cuds, where metal fills in gaps from broken dies, off-center strikes, coins that were misaligned during minting a double dies, where the coin design appears doubled, most often on lettering or the date missing clad layer. These are dramatic-looking coins where the nickel layer has not been applied in 2016. There were reports of Fort Moultrie and Harper's Ferry quarters with doubling on the inscriptions and devices. Some of these coins, if confirmed by reputable attribution services, have sold for over $200 to $500 depending on the severity and visibility of the error. If you're searching through pocket change or coin rolls, here's what to look for. Coins with strong strike and full detail, especially the edges of the letters and feathers or fabric folds in the design mirror-like surfaces with little to no scratches. These could be high-grade uncirculated coins. Obvious errors: misalignments, extra metal, or doubling toning. Some collectors pay premiums for naturally toned coins with appealing colors. Remember, the 2016 D quarters are relatively modern, so finding pristine examples isn't impossible if you check mint sets, uncirculated rolls, or do bulk coin searches. Let's talk about today's market. As of 2025, prices for high-grade examples remain strong due to collector demand and registry set competition. Here's a snapshot of approximate values. A verified error coins, $100 to $750 depending on type and severity. Keep in mind that the coin market fluctuates. What sells for $100 today may jump to $300 next year or fall back to $75 depending on collector interest, silver prices, and market trends. If you have a 2016 D quarter you think is special, consider these options. Get it graded by PCGS or NGC for authentication and marketability. Sell through online auctions like eBay or heritage auctions. Visit coin shows and local dealers. A list on coin collecting forums or marketplaces like Great Collections. When buying, always check that the coin is properly described, especially when it comes to errors and grades. So there you have it, the full story on the 2016 D Mint Mark quarter. While most of these coins are still worth only 25 cents, the rare ones can sell for hundreds, even thousands, if they have the right combination of grade and error. Whether you're a casual change checker or a serious collector, keep an eye out for these modern treasures. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, because today we're diving into a hot topic in the coin collecting world: the 2020 P Mint Mark $quarter coins. These seemingly ordinary coins are actually full of surprises. Some are worth thousands of dollars thanks to rare errors, low mintages, and skyrocketing demand. From American Samoa to where farm, we're going to break it all down. So buckle up, because this is not just pocket change. This is serious coin collecting gold. Let's rewind to the year 2020. The United States Mint continued its popular America the Beautiful Quarters program. These coins honor national parks and historic sites across all 50 states, D.C., and U.S. territories. But 2020 was also the final year of this historic series. .5 quarter designs were released that year. National Park of American Samoa, where Farm National Historic Site in Connecticut, Salt River Bay in the U.S. Virgin Islands, Marsh Billings Rockefeller in Vermont, and the Tallgrass Prairie in Kansas. All of them were struck in Philadelphia, among other mint locations, and those coins bore the P Mint mark. But here's the kicker: 2020 was the year the world shut down. The COVID-19 pandemic disrupted the economy, coin circulation slowed, and mintage numbers dropped. That scarcity has turned some of these quarters, especially those from Philadelphia, into collector treasures. Now, while many collectors were chasing the elusive W quarters from West Point, most forgot to take a close look at the P quarters. But the savvy numismatists knew the Philadelphia Mint produced some fascinating and undervalued coins in 2020. Some of these have incredible strike errors, double dies, and even off-center prints. For example, some 2020 P National Park of American Samoa quarters have been found with strong doubling on the obverse. Others show die chips on the famous fruit bat design. And remember, These quarters were some of the first coins struck and circulated under COVID restrictions. That makes these first-run coins historically significant. Let's talk value. What's in your pocket could be worth big money. Some 2020p quarters with dramatic die cracks or doubling have sold for $100 to over $500, depending on condition and grading. Others with major mint errors, like off-center strikes or retained cut breaks, have gone for over $1,000. Even common examples in mint state condition, especially those graded MS67 or higher by PCGS or NGC, can fetch between $50 and $300. That's right, a coin you might have thought was only worth 25 cents could cover your grocery bill or even more. The 2020p Salt River Bay quarter is especially notable. Its design features a rare red mangrove tree. Some coins have been found with intense obverse doubling and rare reverse breaks. A certified MS68 example sold for over $400 in 2023. And if you find a coin with multiple errors, say, a die crack and doubling together, now we're talking premium collector territory. Prices can push into the thousands if graded correctly and sold at the right auction. So what should you look for in your 2020p quarters? Here's a quick checklist. First, check the mint mark. It must have the P for Philadelphia. Next, inspect the coin under magnification. Look for doubling on the inscriptions, especially "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." Also, study the imagery for die chips, cracks, and unusual bumps. Use tools like a jeweler's loupe or digital microscope to get a closer look. If you suspect something rare, compare it to certified listings on PCGS, NGC, or heritage auctions. And don't forget condition. A coin in uncirculated or brilliant mint state will always fetch a higher premium than one that's scratched or worn. So what's happening in the market right now? As of this year, 2025, the demand for high-grade 2020p quarters is still rising. Collectors are beginning to realize that these coins mark a once-in-a-generation event. COVID-era strikes, reduced mint operations, and the final stages of the America the Beautiful series make them historically significant. On eBay and auction platforms, graded examples continue to climb in value. There's also growing interest in building full sets of all 5 2020 designs in pristine condition with the P mint mark. That makes it even more competitive. Experts suggest that coins with MS67 and higher grades, especially with errors, will continue appreciating over the next 5 to 10 years. This could be the perfect time to dig through your change jar or pick up some undervalued examples before prices skyrocket. If you think you have a rare 2020p quarter, what should you do? Step 1. Don't clean the coin. Never polish or rub it. That lowers the value. Step 2. Get it graded. Use reputable services like PCGS or NGC. Their certification boosts both trust and value. Step 3. Consider listing it at auction. Heritage auctions, great collections, or even high-profile eBay listings can help you reach the right buyers. And step 4, keep learning. Join coin forums, watch videos like this one, and follow the market. The more you know, the better your chances of making smart decisions. So there you have it, the full scoop on the 2020p mint mark $quarter coins. From rare errors to incredible values, these coins are more than just pocket change. They're pieces of history. Have you found any 2020p quarters with errors or in mint condition? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more awesome coin content, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a chance to uncover hidden treasures right in your pocket. We're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 2021p mint mark $quarter coins. These coins might seem like everyday pocket change, but believe it or not, they hold some serious potential for collectors and investors alike. Whether you're new to coin collecting or a seasoned numismatist, this video will take you through the history, unique features, and current market value of the 2021 Philadelphia Mint quarters, revealing why some of these quarters can be worth a lot of money today. So, let's start from the beginning. The 2021p Mint Mark Quarter is part of the ongoing America the Beautiful Quarters program that started back in 2010. Each year, the U.S. Mint releases quarters featuring national parks and historic sites from different states, and 2021 was no exception. The Philadelphia Mint produces quarters marked with a P mint mark, distinguishing them from coins minted in Denver, San Francisco, or other locations. What makes the 2021 P quarters particularly interesting is their design and the mintage numbers. The obverse side continues to feature the classic George Washington profile, designed by John Flanagan, a design that's been a staple since 1932. The reverse side in 2021 showcased the Tuskegee Airmen National Historic Site in Alabama, honoring the brave African-American pilots of World War II. This was a meaningful and popular design among collectors. Now, from a collector's perspective, one thing that often makes a quarter valuable is its condition. Uncirculated and proof versions of the 2021 P quarters have the potential to fetch a higher price, especially if graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC. These grading companies evaluate the coin's condition on a scale from 1 to 70, with mint state coins scoring above 60 and perfect coins reaching 70. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. One fascinating aspect to note about the 2021 P Mint Mark quarters is their relatively low mintage compared to some earlier years, especially for the Philadelphia Mint. In 2021, the Mint produced approximately 1.3 billion quarters for general circulation from Philadelphia. While that sounds like a huge number, it's actually lower than the 2019 and 2020 outputs, making these coins a bit scarcer in the grand scheme of things. What about errors and varieties? Every year, collectors keep an eye out for minting errors that can significantly increase a coin's value. For the 2021 P quarters, some reported errors include double dies, off-center strikes, and die cracks. These errors are rare, but when found in good condition, they can command prices well above face value. For example, a double die quarter might sell for $20 to $50 or more depending on rarity and demand. Now, let's talk market value. The standard circulated 2021 P Mint Mark quarter is still generally worth about 25 cents, its face value. However, when you move into uncirculated or proof coins, things get a lot more interesting. Uncirculated 2021 P quarters can range from about $1 to $5 depending on condition, with graded coins at MS65 or higher reaching the upper end of that range. Proof coins from the Philadelphia Mint, which are sold directly by the U.S. Mint, can be worth $10 to $20 or more, especially in pristine condition and in terms of long-term investment. The 2021 P quarters hold steady potential thanks to their unique design and lower mintage, but they aren't yet the kind of coins that command huge premiums like rare early 20th century quarters or famous error coins. However, if you're patient and pick up high-grade specimens or rare error coins, you could see appreciation as collector interest grows in this modern era of coin collecting. It's also worth noting that the current coin market has been quite volatile, with values fluctuating based on silver prices, collector trends, and economic factors. Since the 2021 quarters are clad coins without precious metals, their value depends more on collector demand and condition than metal content. To summarize, the 2021 P Mint Mark quarter dollar coins have an intriguing place in the history of U.S. coinage. Their meaningful reverse design, relatively lower mintage, and potential for error varieties make them attractive to collectors. While most remain worth face value, select examples in pristine condition or with rare errors can be worth dozens of dollars or more in today's market. If you're a collector looking to add to your portfolio, keep an eye out for high-grade 2021 P quarters, especially proof versions and error coins. They're not just change. They're a piece of history and potentially a solid investment. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more coin collecting insights and market updates. Drop your questions or experiences with the 2021 quarters in the comments below. I love hearing from you all. Until next time, happy collecting.